Ryan Gosling, a Hollywood icon admired by millions, arrived in Malibu on what seemed like an ordinary Tuesday. Yet little did anyone know that the events about to unfold would be anything but mundane. The morning had broken with the promise of vibrant hues as the sun painted the sky in streaks of gold and azure. Dressed casually in a weathered denim jacket, simple khakis, and a pair of well-worn sneakers, Ryan strolled along the palm-lined streets, blending into the local scene with a nonchalance that belied his worldwide fame. He exchanged a few friendly nods and a brief wave with familiar faces, a barista here, a passerby there, each interaction marked by his trademark humility. After a brief stop at a favorite coffee shop where he greeted the barista by name, Ryan sipped his latte and let his mind wander. He was not in Malibu merely to enjoy the sun and sea breeze. He carried with him a secret ambition, a desire to combine his passion for classic automobiles with his commitment to philanthropy. He had been on the lookout for a particular vintage model that he envisioned restoring and eventually donating to a worthy cause, a project that would bridge his two loves. With renewed determination, he set off towards an exclusive car dealership renowned for its luxurious and rare collection of vehicles, a place where opulence met artistry in every gleaming detail. Stepping through the glass doors of the dealership, Ryan was immediately engulfed in an atmosphere of refined elegance. Polished marble floors, soft ambient lighting, and the gentle hum of classical music created a serene backdrop that contrasted with the modern hustle of high-end commerce. As he made his way through the spacious showroom, his eyes were drawn to a particular car tucked away in a quieter corner, a vintage model that exuded an aura of bygone sophistication. The car's sleek, elegant curves and pristine paintwork spoke to an era when automobiles were more than machines. They were expressions of art and passion. Ryan approached the display with a measured, respectful pace. His calm curiosity prompted him to inquire about the car from a salesman momentarily distracted by his phone. "Excuse me," Ryan began in his soft, unassuming tone. "Could you tell me more about this model?" The salesman, barely glancing up, muttered, "Hold on, I'll get someone," and then walked away without further explanation. Standing alone beside the car, Ryan observed the subtle murmurs that rippled among the staff and a few curious onlookers. Whispers floated in the air, remarks about his attire, his modest demeanor, and even his choice of transportation, a vintage truck that hinted at a simplicity far removed from the glitzy images one might expect of a movie star. Before long, a well-dressed manager with a rigid posture and an appraising, almost disdainful gaze approached. His name was Richard, and his tone carried an unmistakable edge of condescension. "I see you're interested in our exclusive model," Richard remarked, his voice dripping with skepticism as he glanced from the car to Ryan and back. "Not many get the chance to experience something like this." Ryan's expression remained serene as he replied, "Yes, it's truly impressive, and exactly what I've been looking for." Yet, Richard's eyes lingered on Ryan's simple attire, faded jeans and a worn leather jacket, and the atmosphere grew tense. The manager's words soon turned sharp and dismissive, insinuating that such high-end automobiles were meant only for a certain elite clientele, not for someone who appeared so unassuming. Richard stepped closer, his tone escalating. "You must understand," he said. "This car is not just a vehicle. It's a symbol of status and success. It's for people who appreciate the finer things in life, and frankly, you don't exactly fit that description." The manager's harsh words sent a ripple of discontent through the room, and Ryan felt a familiar surge of restrained indignation rising within him. He maintained his composure, his eyes steady and unyielding, as he countered, "It's interesting how quickly you judge a person by appearances. I'm here because I appreciate the art and craftsmanship of this model, not because I'm trying to conform to your expectations." The tension in the showroom grew thicker, drawing the attention of nearby employees and customers alike. Some exchanged skeptical glances, while others watched in stunned silence. Richard's face flushed with anger as he sneered, "I see people like you come in, look at these cars and dream, but they never intend to buy. You're just wasting our time." Ryan's calm response cut through the charged atmosphere. If dreaming means appreciating beauty and quality, then I'm not wasting my time." His words, firm yet measured, resonated through the silence, leaving no room for further argument. As the confrontation unfolded, a young man in the corner began recording the exchange on his phone. Ryan noticed the camera lens glinting in the soft light, and for a brief moment, their eyes met, a silent acknowledgement of truth being captured. The confrontation reached its peak when Richard, overcome by frustration and prejudice, attempted to physically intimidate Ryan. In that split second, with the poise of a man who has weathered many storms, Ryan intercepted Richard's advancing hand with a calm, controlled gesture that conveyed both strength and nonviolence. "Respect isn't measured by what you wear or how you look," Ryan said quietly, his voice carrying the weight of quiet conviction. "It's earned through actions and integrity." The manager's provocation, the whispered judgments, and the recording now circulating among onlookers would soon set the stage for a dramatic revelation. As Ryan turned away from the glaring eyes and murmurs, he stepped toward the exit with an air of dignified resolve. The car he admired, and the project he envisioned for a greater good, remained behind him, a silent testament to a man who, despite the superficial judgments of others, remained committed to his values and his purpose. Outside, the warm Los Angeles sunlight welcomed him, a promise that even in a world quick to judge, truth and dignity would eventually prevail. After the heated exchange, the atmosphere in the dealership shifted dramatically. The silence that had descended over the showroom was punctuated by murmurs and the occasional rustle of fabric as onlookers exchanged incredulous glances. Ryan, his expression calm yet resolute, stepped away from the central display area, leaving a stunned Richard and a scattering of silent witnesses in his wake. The young man who had been recording the confrontation quickly moved to capture every detail, his phone held high as he continued to document the unfolding drama. Ryan walked slowly toward the exit, his eyes never leaving the scene behind him. Inside, the tension was palpable. Employees huddled in small groups near the counter, whispering in hushed tones about what they had just seen. Some looked on with a mix of shock and admiration, while others seemed unwilling to believe that such an incident could occur in a place where luxury and exclusivity were supposed to reign supreme. The recording, already uploaded to social media by a quick-thinking staff member, began to gather views almost instantaneously. Comments flowed in, some condemning Richard's behavior, others praising Ryan's unruffled dignity in the face of blatant prejudice. Outside, in the bright Los Angeles sunshine that now bathed the dealership in a contrasting warmth, Ryan paused for a moment. He leaned against the cool glass of the entrance, his thoughts racing as he processed the confrontation. His mind wandered to the underlying issues that had sparked such hostility, a place built on status and appearances, where assumptions were made at first glance, and where the true value of a person was too often overlooked. He took a deep breath, feeling both the weight of the moment and the quiet empowerment that came from standing his ground. In that reflective pause, he resolved that his mission was larger than any single purchase or encounter. His commitment to merging his passion for classic automobiles with philanthropic endeavors was now intertwined with a broader message: that respect and integrity should never be sacrificed at the altar of superficial judgments. Back inside the dealership, Richard was left to face the consequences of his actions. His earlier bravado had evaporated, replaced by a dawning realization of the gravity of his conduct. The manager, whose initial disdain had given way to a more measured tone, had retreated to a quiet office at the rear of the showroom. There, he convened with several senior staff members, their expressions somber as they reviewed the incident captured on video. The recording was clear and uncompromising, and it wasn't long before news of the confrontation spread beyond the walls of the dealership. Within hours, the video had gone viral, igniting a firestorm of public outrage. Online, thousands expressed disbelief that a renowned Hollywood figure like Ryan Gosling could be treated with such disrespect in a supposedly elite establishment. Hashtags emerged calling for accountability and demanding that the dealership address its internal culture of elitism. Meanwhile, Ryan, undeterred by the growing storm on social media, chose to embrace the experience as an opportunity for change. After leaving the dealership, he drove slowly along the scenic coastal roads, the rhythm of his truck's engine providing a steady counterpoint to the turbulent emotions churning inside him. The salty breeze off the Pacific mingled with the fading echoes of the confrontation, reminding him that even amidst conflict, there could be beauty and renewal. He reflected on the irony that while his fame often set him apart from the ordinary, it was precisely his unwavering commitment to humility that resonated most deeply with those who watched the video. Over the next few days, as the public debate raged on and the dealership's reputation suffered an unforeseen blow, Ryan remained focused on his true objective. His interest in the vintage model was not about status or wealth, but about preserving a piece of automotive art that he believed could inspire hope and serve as a catalyst for charitable work. He contacted a trusted restoration expert and arranged a meeting at a discreet garage away from the prying eyes of the media. There, amid the comforting scent of motor oil and polished metal, Ryan discussed plans to restore the classic car. His vision was to transform it into a mobile exhibit that would tour various community events, raising funds for causes close to his heart. In his mind, every dent and every scratch on the car was a story waiting to be retold, a testament to resilience and the beauty of imperfection. Back at the dealership, the fallout continued. The manager issued a public apology on the company's website, promising a comprehensive review of their customer service policies and the immediate retraining of staff on the principles of respect and inclusion. Despite these measures, many remained skeptical, and the incident became a powerful symbol in discussions about class and the ever-widening gap between perception and reality in luxury spaces. For those who had witnessed the event, both in person and through the lens of a smartphone, it served as a reminder that genuine respect transcends outward appearances. It underscored the belief that true value lies not in the superficial trappings of wealth, but in the character and actions of a person. In the midst of this evolving narrative, Ryan continued his journey with an air of quiet determination. His experience at the dealership was now part of a larger story, one that intertwined the worlds of celebrity, commerce, and social justice. Each step he took was imbued with a renewed sense of purpose, his vision for the vintage car project now enriched by the lessons learned in that fateful encounter. As he drove along the winding coastal highway, the ocean stretching endlessly beside him, Ryan thought about the future he hoped to help shape. A future where every individual, regardless of their appearance or background, would be treated with the dignity and respect they inherently deserved. And, with that thought firmly in his mind, he pressed on, ready to turn adversity into an opportunity for lasting, meaningful change. In the days that followed the explosive confrontation, the world seemed to hold its breath as Ryan Gosling continued on his journey with a quiet determination that belied the intensity of the events at the dealership. The viral video had ignited a wave of public discussion, and while many debated the merits of respect and privilege, Ryan remained focused on a higher purpose. He devoted himself to the restoration project of the vintage car, a symbol not only of timeless craftsmanship but also of resilience in the face of superficial judgments. With the haunting echoes of that fateful day still fresh in his mind, he sought solace in the art of restoration. He arranged to meet with a renowned restoration expert in a discreet, bustling garage on the outskirts of Malibu. Surrounded by the comforting hum of machinery and the heady aroma of motor oil and polished metal, Ryan and the expert discussed every detail of the project. They examined the car's elegant curves, its flawless paint now marred by the passage of time, and the history etched into every dent and scratch. For Ryan, this was more than a mere acquisition. It was a commitment to preserving beauty, history, and the hope that art and passion could bridge divides. As work on the restoration began in earnest, Ryan found himself drawn into the intricacies of the project. Long days were spent in the garage, his hands working meticulously alongside seasoned craftsmen who had honed their skills over decades. In these moments, the controversies of the previous encounter faded into a distant murmur, replaced by the steady rhythm of hammers, brushes, and heartfelt conversation. The restoration process became a meditation, a journey inward where each polished surface and carefully reassembled part symbolized a step toward healing, not only for the car but for the community that had witnessed his stand for dignity. Meanwhile, the dealership and its management were forced to confront the consequences of their actions. The public outcry led to an internal review that saw sweeping changes in the way customers were treated, emphasizing respect and empathy over rigid adherence to outdated protocols. The once haughty manager, Richard, now faced intense scrutiny and had to reckon with the bias that had marred his behavior. For many, the incident served as a catalyst for broader discussions about class, judgment, and the true meaning of luxury, a conversation that reverberated far beyond the gleaming floors of the showroom. Back at the garage, as the restoration progressed, Ryan began to envision a broader mission. The vintage car, destined to be transformed into a mobile exhibit, would not only showcase the splendor of classic automobiles, but also serve as a vehicle for social change. His plan was to tour the car to community centers, schools, and charity events, using its story to inspire others to look beyond appearances and embrace the inherent worth of every individual. With each day, the car took on a new life. The restoration expert meticulously repaired its worn frame, revitalized the engine, and restored its original luster, while Ryan documented every stage of the process through detailed journal entries and candid photos. He shared these updates on social media, not to boast, but to invite a dialogue, a conversation about the transformative power of resilience, authenticity, and respect. As weeks turned into months, the project blossomed into a full-fledged initiative that captured the hearts of many. Local media picked up the story, and soon community leaders, inspired by Ryan's vision, joined the cause. Fundraising events were organized, and the project evolved into a collaborative effort that not only restored a classic car but also reinvigorated community spirit. Ryan's gentle insistence on valuing character over appearance resonated with people from all walks of life, and the restored car soon became a symbol of unity and hope. One crisp evening, at a charity gala held in a modest community hall adorned with twinkling lights and warm smiles, Ryan unveiled the fully restored vehicle. The crowd was a mosaic of excited faces, residents, fans, and even a few former skeptics from the dealership, united in celebration. As Ryan took a moment to speak, his voice steady and sincere, he recounted the journey that had brought him here. From the humiliating confrontation to the painstaking restoration, and ultimately to the realization that genuine luxury is measured not by wealth or status, but by compassion, integrity, and the willingness to embrace change. That night, under the soft glow of the community hall's lights and the gentle hum of applause, the vintage car shone as a beacon of transformation. It was a testament to the belief that every setback can pave the way for a more compassionate future, and that even the simplest act of respect can ripple outward to inspire lasting change. As the event drew to a close, Ryan's quiet smile spoke volumes, a promise that he would continue to champion kindness and authenticity wherever his journey might lead.